CTV News with Sarah Freemark.
Go Jays, go.
Okay, Blue Jays, let's go. Let's go, Blue Jays.
It all comes down to this. The stage is set for Game 7, a do-or-die game for the Blue Jays and Mariners. Thanks for joining us. Many people remember the 1992-93 season for the Blue Jays, but tonight brings a moment fans haven't experienced since 1985. A pivotal Game 7 to punch their ticket into the World Series after exchanging blows for 6 games. Everything comes down to tonight, so the region and, quite frankly, the nation are abuzz. Here's CTV's Luke Samard.
Clement is there, and there will be a 7th and deciding game in the American League Championship Series.
As the Jays continue their trek towards the World Series, Jays faithful turning out in droves to local businesses to watch and support their team.
It's been great, but heart pounding, just because I'm a diehard Leaf fan as a Blue Jay fan, and I'm waiting for them to play tonight.
It's been frightening at times, you know. I mean, it's touch and go at times, but they're going to do it tonight. They're going to do it.
While Guerrero Jr. drives in runs, the Jays are driving in business at the locker room in Barrie.
Sundays are not typically all that busy at 8 o'clock, so last night it was full of energy and full of people, and it was just a great night.
Adding the Jays bring a different vibe to the bar.
The Jays just bring such a phenomenal energy because you know that when the Jays are playing, you're not really going to have rivalry teams in the bar at the same time.
Blue Jays are the talk of the nation.
This is Pure Country. I'm Shannon Ella, rocking my Toronto Blue Jays sweater today.
As heard on Pure Country 106 and across the nation, on her syndicated show, Pure Country's Shannon Ella hyping up the Toronto Blue Jays.
Hoping and praying that the Toronto Blue Jays can keep the dream alive. Last night, after their 6-2 win against the Mariners.
Jays representation on the world stage having a positive impact at the grassroots level.
It gives kids an opportunity to not only fall in love with the game, but maybe pursue it and maybe get an education from it, going to school, or maybe one day becoming a professional. So there's a lot of Canadians that are in the ALCS as we speak.
A set of cards that were very exclusive and given out at the Sky Dome.
Kevin Lawrence showing his favorite Jays memorabilia from the 90s. With the Jays' deep run this year, finding it hard to keep baseball items in stock.
There's not enough to go around. Of course, the championship era from before I have a lot of, and some lovely Vladdy Guerrero things. But demand's been high and supply has been low.
First pitch is slated for just after 8 o'clock, with the nation tuning in to see if Canada's team will advance to their first World Series since 1993, with those tickets going on sale tomorrow. Luke Samar at CTV News, Aurelia.
It's been months since an ice storm devastated our region and much of Ontario and Quebec. Today, calculations continue around how much it's going to cost the city to recover. Here's CTV's Rob Cooper with more on where things stand and what happens next.
Today's fall cleanup is a little bit more relaxed than the widespread recovery effort from just 7 months ago, following the terrible ice storm that crippled much of the province.
Trees coming down everywhere, branches across the road. Power was out everywhere. Some people had no power for days. It was horrific.
That storm caused hundreds of millions of dollars in damages across the province. Downed trees and power lines made the cleanup long and expensive.
It was quite destructive. Oh yes, very, very much so. It was one of the worst I think we've seen in years.
Tonight, the city of Barrie says after making sure roads were drivable and safe to travel, it focused on the massive cleanup itself for several months.
We took down about 5,000 trees. We had to prune 10,000 trees. So there was a lot of work to be done.
The city says forestry costs alone are pegged at $28 million as the city had to assess more than 46,000 damaged trees. Now the city says it's ready to begin its third and final stage of the cleanup.
Phase 3 is stumping and replanting. So the stumping has started already. So you may see people going around removing stumps.
Replanting as many as 5,000 trees will also be part of this final phase. The county of Simcoe says its final bill for the ice storm is still being calculated, but the county says it's applying for assistance from the government for $6.8 million. People who were affected by the storm say they won't soon forget its power and destruction.
My daughter's house was flooded and it's still not repaired, and it's just awful.
Now, the city has applied for financial assistance to help offset the high cost of that replanting process. It's expected to begin in the spring, and I'm told it could take years to complete. Rob Cooper, CTV News, Barrie.
And after losing more than 5,000 trees in that March storm, Barrie is now blooming with healthy, bright and bountiful green spaces again, and it's being honored for it. Let's go ahead and bring in CTV's Jack Morse tonight to explain. Jack, what exactly is Barrie being recognized for?
Well, Sarah, it's about a commitment to the natural environment and natural spaces, as well as Barrie winning top honors yet again. A panel of judges gave the city 5 Blooms Gold. That's a score of over 90%. Barrie also won the Healthier Livable Cities category and got a special mention for its work to recover after this past spring's devastating ice storm. It's not just public spaces, though. The community plays a big role in the win. The city collects backyard garden photos ahead of the judge's visit.
We try to tour the judges around to hit as many of them as possible, but unfortunately we can't take them everywhere. But it's amazing just to see such a large part of the city participating and getting excited for when the judges come.
Of course, the first thing that comes to your head might be the flowers and the trees. But this year, the city tried to get people to think about the role nature plays in daily life.
Flowers and perennials, annuals, all of that is wonderful, but there is so much more to it, and we really want to make sure that whatever it is that we are putting out is something that is not just beautiful, but will support the community as it continues to grow.
It's the last big show for Barrie's city plots. They're now being winterized, trimmed down, and made ready for planting in the spring.
We are always ahead of the game. People say, oh, this must be your slow time, but it's not. But maybe that's why we're 5 gold winners. We're always going and working and thinking of the next thing.
Much of the work over the next months will be in greenhouses, getting ready to go out next year when the snow melts. The city's been in the contest for 26 years, and right now staff are getting ready to make another gold in the 27th. Sarah, back to you.
Thanks very much for that, Jack. Let's go ahead and take our first look at weather and say good evening to our Blue Jays good luck charm, Casey Colby.
Oh, I like that. That's nice. Yeah,
No
we
pressure.
certainly hope so. Yeah, no pressure. Never any pressure on the weather guy. Let's talk about the weather. Let's talk about pressure, and it's an interesting forecast. Let's get to it. And here we go. See if I can knock this one out of the park. 12 degrees, Sarah. That's 12 degrees after 6 o'clock in what is now starting to be late October. First injury, of course, brought to us, or rather first weather brought to us by Chrysler Injury Law. Call 1-800-JUSTICE. And yeah, winds are out of the northwest. That's a bit of an injury, isn't it? Yeah, advocates rally against Bill, sure. Northwest, 22 as far as our wind speed goes. And this is a look at the temperature outside our door right now. 12 degrees in Gravenhurst, 12 degrees in the fair city of Aurelia, Sunshine City, beautiful. 11 degrees in Newmarket. Hey, looks like 14 in Tirana. Yeah, kind of a big night there. This is the radar satellite image over the last little while, and we're looking at some pretty much perfect conditions for a late October event, whether it be inside or outside. And just incidentally, Sarah, because I know you want to know, the roof in Toronto will be closed for this evening's event, shall we say. So the noise will be extra special, extra loud. Let's go, Jace.
Yes, apparently last night was just crazy loud, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later in the newscast. Thanks, Case.
Okay.
Advocates with policing-free schools rallied outside Queen's Park in Toronto today against Bill 33, a new legislation that, if passed, would expand police in school programs right across the province.
The bill mandates police presence in school, a move that raises serious concerns around privacy, community agency, and deepening social inequalities. Schools should be spaces of learning and support. The best chances for student success should not be compromised by perceived benefit of increased surveillance and superstitious intelligence gathering that can disproportionately impact and target racialized and marginalized students.
Advocates are calling on the province to instead invest in smaller class sizes and supporting students with educational needs. 3 Scottish men charged in the death of an Owen Sound restaurant owner have agreed to be extradited to Canada. 44-year-old Sharif Rahman died following an assault outside of his restaurant in August of 2023, allegedly over an unpaid bill. 24-year-old Robert Evans is charged with manslaughter. His father and uncle, 47-year-old Robert Busby Evans and 54-year-old Barry Evans, are charged with accessory after the fact. It's unclear when they will be extradited to Canada to face those charges. And York Regional Police have charged a 30-year-old with second-degree murder after a man was killed in East Gwillimbury last week. This happened following reports of an assault at a home on Queensville Side Road late Friday night. A 57-year-old man was found with serious injuries. He was later pronounced dead in hospital. And we now know a date has been set for the inquest into the death of Robert Twiss, the 47-year-old who died in custody at the Central North Correctional Centre in Penetanguishene back in 2018. The inquest will begin November 17th and run for 5 days, with a jury expected to hear from about 11 witnesses. A man accused of murdering his former girlfriend was back in a Midland courtroom today. CTV's Mike Arsulides brings us more from the testimony.
Accused of murder, Justice Chester sat in the prisoner's box in a Midland courtroom today, hearing testimony from police officers who arrived on scene the day his 23-year-old girlfriend, Julia Brady, was found dead inside their Midland apartment. Brady's loved ones were in court for the start of the preliminary hearing. Any evidence heard during proceedings prior to trial is protected by a court-imposed publication ban. Police confirmed Chester was taken into custody and charged with murder after Brady was found dead inside this apartment complex along 7th Street. Julia's father told CTV News his daughter had called 911 for help the afternoon of July 15, 2024, 2 months after Brady met Chester online through a dating app. Police revealed Chester was taken to hospital for medical attention that day. He's been behind bars since, after failing to convince the court during a bail review earlier this year he should be released from custody. Chester was represented by Allison Craig when he sought bail in March, and today by associate lawyer Darcy Leach during the proceedings before Justice Philip John Brissett. Chester, who is now 27, is charged with second-degree murder. Brady's loved ones did not wish to provide comment as they left the Midland courthouse. Scheduled for 3 more days, Chester's preliminary hearing is set to resume in late November. The allegations against him have not been tested in court. Mike Arsulides, CTV News, Midland.
A 19-year-old man is in custody after a stabbing on Hannah Road in Midland. This comes after police reportedly found a 64-year-old man with life-threatening injuries inside a home around 5:30 on Sunday night. The suspect now faces multiple charges, including attempted murder. The victim was airlifted to a Toronto hospital, and a family pet that escaped during the incident has since been returned safely. York Regional Police are investigating after shots were fired in Woodbridge last night. Police say bullets were aimed at a vehicle outside an event space in the area of Highway 7 and Weston Road just before 10 p.m. No injuries were reported, and at this time, York Regional Police have not provided any details about a possible suspect. Just ahead of next month's budget, Canada's finance minister announcing the creation of Canada's first national anti-fraud strategy. CTV's Michael Couture breaks it all down for us.
According to the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre, financial scams cost people in this country $643 million last year. It's why, after 5 years of promising to tackle the problem, the Liberals are finally acting.
Budget 2025 will introduce Canada's first ever national anti-fraud strategy.
The strategy is also coming with a new agency that will target money laundering and online fraud. Canada plans to collaborate with other countries to target those transnational crimes.
We're talking to the FBI, we're going to talk to the financial crime unit in the UK, but my aim is to go after organized crime, is to go after those who scam and defraud Canadians.
There's no doubt that it's really late in the game.
Cybersecurity experts point out the Liberal government promised a financial crimes agency 5 years ago, and they say this multilateral collaboration with other countries is key to catching these types of criminals.
There's a culture of cooperation that needs to be built within our regulatory institutions, within our law enforcement, and within the financial system.
That's partly why the government will amend the Bank Act to require express consent from account holders before enabling services like e-transfers. They'll also require banks to have policies and procedures to detect consumer-focused fraud. The Canadian Bankers Association is on board and applauds the move to have a central financial crimes agency.
There's a lot of skills that involved, the white collar, the movement of money, the complexities, and so having people that can be focused on that will be critical.
This is one of the many pre-budget announcements the government is making leading up to November 4th. And today, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre called on the Prime Minister to keep the deficit under $42 billion, something Mark Carney has already signaled will not happen. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
The Ford government pressed the gas pedal today on its plan to ban speed cameras, tabling a bill that would see them turned off. But the plan is still facing stiff opposition from municipalities. CTV's Allison Hurst explains.
The sign promising an automated speed camera is one unlikely to be kept. The province has tabled a bill banning them from municipalities.
We've made a decision as the government to move forward on this legislation to remove them.
The legislation is in its first bill since returning to the legislature. The release says it includes initiatives to protect taxpayers by ending the use of municipal speed cameras.
Our focus has always been on preventing speeding at the point of entry into one of these zones.
Municipalities using the technology have been largely against the government's plan, citing the vast majority of these cameras are in school zones. That's something many parents want to see continue.
Around the school, definitely needed. But there are other, different areas, maybe yes, maybe no, but the school, definitely.
I don't think we don't need to around here because no one's driving faster than the 30 kilometers per hour. So because they know that the school is here.
I think so, but I think because I don't get caught by them, so I'm like, yeah, it's probably good for safety.
The province wants cities instead to focus on traffic calming measures like speed bumps, roundabouts, and enhanced signage. At several schools across the province this morning, parents held demonstrations to save speed cameras.
The data shows us that they do work and that we are seeing a reduction in speeding in this area and across our city and across our province. So why would we take away a proven method of keeping our kids safe?
Once the bill passes, the cameras must be off, with new warning signs in their place by November 15th and permanent flashing light signage by next September. Allison Hurst, CTV News.
Millions of people around the world and across Canada are celebrating Diwali. The annual Festival of Lights is one of the most significant dates in Hinduism. A record 2.6 million lamps were lit along the banks of the Sarayu River in India to mark the festival, which is held over 5 days. And in Ottawa, the Royal Canadian Legion presented the ceremonial first poppy to the Governor General today.
To all the veterans, to all members of Canada and the United Nations peacekeeping forces, to all serving members of Canada's military forces, we thank you. It is with reverence and gratitude that I accept the first poppy.
The traditional event represents the ceremonial start to the remembrance period and announces the coming National Poppy Campaign. It begins annually on the last Friday in October, and poppies will be available to the public starting on October 31st. The Legion says funds donated during the campaign are distributed locally to help support veterans and their families and to promote remembrance. It is all the talk today. The Jays forcing the winner-take-all contest after beating the Seattle Mariners 6-2 in Game 6 last night.
Popped up. Clement is there. And there will be a 7th and deciding game in the American League Championship Series.
Now it all comes down to tonight. The Jays will be looking to secure one more win to clinch a spot in the World Series for the first time since 1993. Let's head to Rogers Centre now. That's where we find CP24's Sija Liu. What a treat for fans last night, Sija. Do you think that home field advantage will make the difference for the team tonight too?
Oh, absolutely. We have been speaking to some fans who were at that Game 6 last night, and they say it was electric. They were standing pretty much for the entire game. And even Jays manager John Schneider has said repeatedly that playing at home helps the team. They love the momentum, and they want that energy going into Game 7 as well. But we have been talking to a lot of fans outside Rogers Centre today, coming from all across the country. This is not just Toronto's team right now. This is Canada's team. We have been meeting fans coming from Calgary, from BC, all the way here, ready to cheer on the Jays. And what's been so special as well is because we've been meeting families. We have seen fathers who were here for the 1993 appearance against the World Championship Series, the last time they were back here at home. And now they are bringing their kids all to enjoy this game. But also keep in mind, yesterday for Game 6, the dome was closed. So you can just imagine the sound in that building. They probably blew the roof off, figuratively speaking, and they're hoping for that same energy tonight for Game 7.
Well, I think a lot of people have been mentioning that this game is being seen as the biggest game for the Jays, fans and the team in more than a decade now. So let's talk a little bit about pitching, because that has been problematic in some cases for the team.
Yes, a lot of ups and downs. They've definitely kept us on our feet. But in terms of the starting pitchers, so for Toronto, starting the Game 7, who will be setting the tone for us, is Shane Bieber. And he is experienced. He's been in the postseason 3 times. He's a Cy Young Award winner. And even John Schneider says for these important games, do-or-die games like tonight, they want Bieber because he has so much self-awareness. And on the other end, opposite to him, for Seattle, would be George Kirby. He is also the one who started in Game 3, and he didn't do too well against Toronto. Toronto ended up taking that game in Seattle. So that's the 2 matchups tonight, but fans are certainly happy that Bieber will be the one taking them into Game 7 tonight.
I know you were just talking about this just moments ago, but let's get back to the fans. This has been such an exciting time, especially such a big win at home. Multi-generational fans. Do you notice a change in the entire city when something like this is happening?
Yes, absolutely. We have been meeting fans who are lifelong fans, but also some new fans as well. It's hard to not talk about the Jays. It's really all anyone else is talking about. And even when you come down to Rogers Centre, we've been down here since early in the morning, and everyone got the memo. Wear your Blue Jays blue, wear your best Blue Jays gear. So I think even if you weren't a lifelong fan, the wonderful run the Jays have been on has really inspired the city. And this is really something the city needs. People have saying, we want some positive news. We want to cheer on the team. So everyone is pretty much a Jays fan in the city right now.
Well, clearly, you and I both got the memo on wearing the blue. Thanks so much for joining us on CTV Barrie, CJ. Now, we will remind people that first pitch is just after 8 o'clock tonight. And if Toronto does beat Seattle, tickets to the World Series go on sale tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. And now, as the Blue Jays push through the playoffs, a new poll is asking, are they really Canada's team? Angus Reid found that 39% of Canadians are locked into the Jays postseason run. That's way up from 22% who usually follow MLB this closely. But when it comes to claiming the title of Canada's team, only 49% nationally say yes, and surprisingly, even fewer in Toronto agree at just 45%. So the Jays may be hot right now, but this debate is seemingly even hotter. Still to come, the first to fetch some fun at a new park. These dogs not only took advantage of the newly opened space, they brought some Halloween flair. And a spooky Saturday in the Sunshine City. Now these people, when they donned those costumes, they didn't come to just play. More on that competition next. You're watching CTV Barrie. Thanks for staying with us. Barrie went to the dogs this weekend, and the canines came dressed to impress.
Choice Properties is a real estate investment trust. That means we own 700 properties across Canada. lots of them are similar to the plaza we're at here today in Barrie. In our minds, it already acts a little bit as a community hub, a bit of a gathering place for folks. And so this dog run is really an extension of that notion, where we've created this amenity for the community here in Barrie to come out, spend some time together, take a break and do so with their pets.
My dog just loves dog parks, and the other one in Barrie seems to be something going on there, so I thought to come down this way, and I thought the whole Halloween thing seemed kind of like a fun event and something different for her to kind of experience.
She has a lot of energy, and it helps with exerting her energy out. So at nighttime, she's not as much of a menace on us, waking us up at night. Hey, babies.
The city's newest dog run officially opened with a howling good time that was called the Hallow Wolf Costume Party. So, of course, as we saw, locals and their four-legged friends gathered near that plaza to celebrate the grand opening. It's got 5,000 square feet of space, complete with double-fenced entry, big and small dog zones, seating for humans, and even a waste station. Costumed canines competed for prizes and claimed bragging rights as the first to fetch fun at that new park. Town Square was bursting with fall fun this weekend as the second annual Innisfil Festival took over on Saturday.
This is incredible. Everybody brought something unique, so you have to value it on its own merits and see how they interact with everybody and the excitement they put in people's eyes.
It was amazing. I just love performing in public. It's one of my favorite things to do. And Coldplay's one of my favorite bands. I went to his concert. And, it just makes me so happy when I perform in front of other people.
We decided to focus it more on children and youth because we want to empower them and empower them to think, hey, we can be entrepreneurs too, right? And so I think this is something that some of our parents may not have taught us, but if we can pass this on to the next generation, then we're creating the future leaders and future business owners of our communities.
I love to make these bracelets because I make them with care. I've made a few sales and it's been a great day.
Families gathered for a day packed with music and games, complete with trackless train rides, farm animals, and live shows. Aurelia Square Mall transformed into a scream scene this weekend for the first ever Horror Fest.
Hey everybody, James Balsamo here, CEO of Acid Bath Productions. I'm here in Canada, that's right, Canada, with Thomas Sutherland to talk about our new movies, Snake Church and Werewolf in a Tank. Oh!
So many people go through life stuck in a 9-to-5 or 24/7 reality of constantly working for somebody else's vision. And I try to help people fulfill theirs.
Fun day for the family to come out and enjoy themselves, dress up, do their favorite cosplay of their favorite horror character. There's so much different variety of from comic books to DVDs, VHSs, apparel, anything that a fandom's looking for their horror collection. This is the show to come out to.
We like to show off our costumes. We're handmade, all 4 of these, so wanted to kind of show them off. They had a little costume contest, see if we could win a prize.
I made this thing 40 years ago. Next year, it's the 40th year that we released this, and I have so many of these people who either just saw the movie or they saw it when they were little and it still is like their favorite, so that it's had this longevity and that it works. And here the audience still laughs, still screams, still have a great time. That means a lot.
Ghouls, goblins, and monsters filled the mall on Saturday, and the cosplay contest brought the scare factor to the next level. And Aurelia Dad is keeping Halloween spirits high with a tradition that's now 6 years strong.
Well, that's just fine. Say it once, say it twice, take a chance and roll the dice. Ride with the moon in the dead of night.
Everybody scream! Everybody scream!
Nightmare Before Christmas, one of my favorites. Derek Lehman is lighting up Dale Drive with Halloween movies projected right onto his house. This year's lineup includes classics like Ghostbusters and Beetlejuice, but Stranger Things themed seemed to be the crowd favorite. One last screening is set for next Saturday from nightfall to 11 p.m. If you are looking for more information around local events, or perhaps you'd like to get caught up on your weekend news, all of that's posted on our website, ctvnews.ca/Barrie, or scan that QR code on the screen. How about taking a pie in the face for a good cause? For over 20 years, Innovative Automation hosts the annual Pie Throw as part of the company's United Way Simcoe Muskoka campaign. Even the president of the company, Michael Loftus, there he is on the left, embraced the fun. The team raised $20,000 for United Way in just 2 hours, so that brings their overall campaign total to over $34,000. And finally, it's never too early to learn the rewards and responsibilities of owning an animal. Where do we think that we would take the animal? Yes.
Go to the cat hospital.
Exactly, yeah, it's called a veterinary clinic. And that's a big part of what we do at the OSPCA, because sometimes the animals aren't feeling well. It's about owning an animal. You're not seeing things, that's me inside the kindergarten class at St. Marguerite Duville in Barrie. I'm an Animal Smart volunteer and with Barrie OSPCA, and I had the pleasure of spending some time with the children today talking about how animals and people both feel emotions and how to make sure that everyone feels loved, and a reminder, more volunteers are always needed. Still to come, it's time to start planning for the ski season, and we'll show you where you can get gear without breaking the bank. First though, let's check in with Case.
Hey, 6 degrees and partly cloudy skies in Toronto this evening for the big game, but in the long-range forecast, flurries. Flurries. I'll tell you where, I'll tell you when. And our weather watcher artiste will have a look right now. Abby says, please let it not be before Halloween. Halloween rainbows are my favorite. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
That cat with the wig seemed to be really enjoying it. We are celebrating pets in costumes, so whether it's spooky, silly, or just plain cute, send those photos to us. Picture this at ctv.ca. Let's head outside. Casey Colby, a very important prediction needs to come for you tonight because, as I said, you are the Jays' good luck charm.
Oh, okay, sure. I'm the one also that said there's flurries in the forecast, so I don't know how much good luck. Yes, let's talk about, well, a quick prediction. I'm saying 8-4.
All right.
Okay, and we'll get yours after I finish
Done.
talking about flurries and the F word for flurries. Let's talk about the forecast, and look at that. Big thanks to Davey Dole for bringing in that Blue Jays. That's the good luck charm right there, cameraman Davey Dole. Thank you very much. Let's talk about baseball weather, October baseball weather. Indeed it is. This is the temperature outside your door, and as mentioned, 14 degrees in Toronto, dropping down to 6, as low as 6. It looks like Algonquin is already down to 8 where the wild things are. 12 degrees in Parry Sound, 12 in Owen Sound, 10 in Mount Forest, and 11 in Alliston. This is the almanac for today. 13 and 8, the high, the low. Hey, a year ago, 24 degrees on this day. 24 degrees. Yeah, we're a little more than about half that, yeah. Minus 5.6, stretching back to 1934 for record low, and sun rises tomorrow 7:41, sets at 6:24, 10 hours and 42 minutes of daylight, rolling that forecast radar, and my eye immediately goes to the far right and look at, whoa, back to the left. Okay, I was looking for the active weather on the right, and I didn't have to wait very long before it made an appearance on the left. Let's break it down, take a look at some of the numbers, and here we go, talking about southern tip of Georgian Bay, Lake Simcoe. Overnight, hey, the winds are picking up out of the northwest. 30 to 60 K out of the northwest. Partly cloudy skies, 4 and 5 degrees for the overnight lows. Tomorrow, 12 degrees, still into double digits. Some shower activity is what we're looking at under cloudy skies. This is Orangeville, Bradford, Georgina, Newmarket, Richmond Hill, 3 and 4 degrees. Clearing skies in Orangeville, but everywhere else is looking at partly cloudy skies for this evening. And then for tomorrow, 11 and 14, and there's some showers rolling in. Orangeville should get the showers last tomorrow, but the cloud does roll in. To Parry Sound, Huntsville, Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, Halliburton, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 6 overnight lows. Yeah, 1 lonely degree in Halliburton, partly cloudy skies. And then for tomorrow, 11 and 12, and here comes the showers into the afternoon. Do the showers want to stick around? Well, that answer can be found in the Diamond and Diamond Lawyers 5-day extended forecast. And it looks like this. We're starting in Simcoe County. I mentioned something about flurry activity. Yoo-hoo, is it there? No. Sun and cloud, more cloud than sun on Wednesday. 11 degrees is what we're looking at. There is a chance of shower activity, about a 60% chance. Again on the Thursday, no sun though. The sun comes back to see us on Friday, but there's still a 40% chance of showers on the Friday, and it looks like a 30% chance of showers and a high of 9 degrees come Saturday. The 5-day extended forecast, York Region, have a look. Well, Wednesday and Thursday, 60% chance of shower activity, 11 degrees. In fact, 11 degrees for Friday. Moments of sun, still a 40% chance of shower activity. And at this point, Saturday looks cloudy with a slight chance of showers. Muskoka, Parry Sound, Halliburton, cloudy skies, 60% chance of showers on the Wednesday, 12 degrees, 8 for the high on Thursday, 60% chance of showers, 30% chance of showers on the Friday. Still some sun on Saturday, but Sarah, 30% chance of showers and 30% chance of flurries. Let's talk baseball. Back to baseball, Sarah. Be back inside.
We'll save baseball for right before the end of the newscast because, as you just heard, winter is just around the corner. And if you're in need of new gear for the slopes, the Hardwood Ski Swap is now underway. The annual event launched over the weekend where shoppers could bargain and buy used equipment on a budget. The swap is open to everyone, whether you're buying or selling, and the store is prepared with wall-to-wall gear, so there's something for everyone.
We have a whole bunch of used skis, new skis from previous seasons, boots, poles, snowshoes, fat bikes, you name it. A good time to get a great deal on some Nordic stuff.
A really nice atomic ski.
We have a full retail store as well with all the latest and greatest stuff from Nordic skiing, clothing, equipment. So if you don't find something in the swap, at a super good deal, you can get the latest and greatest in the store at the same time.
The Hardwood Ski and Bike Store will be hosting its swap until October 23rd. And looking ahead to the weekend, Aurelia is preparing to get glam for a good cause.
Made all of our own decorations, having lots of fun making it as blingy as possible. We're all going to be decked out. We're going to have special prizes for the most blingy and fun costumes or dress up that everyone's wearing for the day.
The Aurelia and District Literacy Council is hosting Blingo Day Out on October 25th. And yes, it's exactly what it sounds like, bingo, but with extra bling. From noon till 4 p.m. at 99 Peters Street, guests can enjoy games, a mini marketplace, a silent auction, and lunch, all while raising money for local literacy programs.
We get between 30 and 50 people a year that come through here, and they're really looking to increase their literacy goals. Everything from computer skills to reading, math, spelling, people trying to get their grade 12 to seniors learning how to use their cell phones. It's so important. We couldn't do it without the support of the community.
Tickets to the second annual Blingo Day Out Gala fundraiser can be purchased online. Next on CTV Barrie, could an agreement around aluminum and steel exports be on with the U.S. be on the horizon? That plus we'll recap tonight's top stories. Stay with us.
Bounce 104.1 wants you to bounce to the beach. Listen for your chance to win an all-inclusive vacation for two to Sandals South Coast in Jamaica every weekday. Bounce to the beach with Sandals Resorts. Get closer to the Caribbean.
Time now to recap our top stories. A thrilling night for Toronto fans as the Blue Jays defeat the Mariners to force a Game 7 of the ALCS. That was on Sunday. This means the Jays are just one win away from the World Series. For tonight's do-or-die game, it looks like Shane Bieber will take the mound, and the first pitch is just after 8 p.m. A panel of judges gave the City of Barrie 5 top honors in the annual Bloom competition. That's a score of over 90%. The city won the Healthier Livable Cities category and got a special mention for its work to recover after the ice storm back in March. And the City of Barrie offering an update on the ice storm damage today. Forestry costs alone are pegged at about $28 million as the city had to assess more than 46,000 damaged trees. The county of Simcoe says it is applying for assistance from the government for $6.8 million. Canada's finance minister is signaling possible changes to Canadian steel and aluminum tariffs. CTV's Abigail Beeman has more on what's in the works.
Signs of a potential deal are strong enough for the head of the Business Council of Canada to comment publicly.
There's reason to be cautiously optimistic that we're working towards some sectoral agreements on aluminum and steel and energy more specifically. There's still work to do. We're optimistic that if they can get it to the finish line this week, something can be announced.
Maybe a reduction or a quota, but Goldie Hyder says we won't live in a tariff-free world.
This is not about China, it's about Canada.
Meanwhile, the finance minister is defending new counter-tariff exemptions for Canadian companies bringing in steel and aluminum from the U.S. and China.
So you're talking about a very small group of very specific products that needed to enter Canada to maintain the supply chain.
While the Canadian Steel Producers Association criticizes the exemptions for being too broad, Keenan Loomis represents Canadian steel fabricators and says the decision to exempt I-beam specifically is critical to about 500 Canadian businesses that work with the U.S.
This is really, really impactful when it comes to projects where my guys are working on American projects and bringing in the steel, engineering it, fabricating it here in our shops here in Canada, and then sending it back to the U.S.
The focus now, whether there will be a sectoral deal announced this week or during the Prime Minister's upcoming trip to Asia, where both he and the American president are expected to attend the APEC summit. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Beer maker Molson Coors announced hundreds of layoffs today. The company confirms 400 jobs will be lost from an area that includes Canada, the U.S., and Latin America. Molson Coors had already forecasted a drop in profit, in part because of aluminum tariffs, raising the cost of beer cans. The Bank of Canada says business confidence is low right across our country. This is mainly due to trade uncertainty with the U.S., making companies hold back on investing and hiring. Nearly 1/3 of businesses expect a recession, and 2/3 of Canadians fear that it's coming. Now, this report comes as we are set to get our latest reading on inflation tomorrow. Economists expect inflation to rise to about 2.2% in September. The Bank of Canada will use this data to decide on interest rates on October 29th. And while we're waiting for the inflation data, the markets are already making moves. Let's go to a live look at those numbers. The TSX was up 321 points. The Dow was up 376 and the Nasdaq up 311. And commodities oil was down to close at $56.65 a barrel. Gold was up to finish at $43.55 an ounce. And our dollar up to end the day at 71.27 cents U.S. Still to come, spooky films hit the big screen. More on which ones are dominating the box office. That's next. Here's a look at your Monday night primetime lineup. NFL football. Tampa Bay versus Detroit starts at 7, followed by Battle of the Generations at 10 p.m. and CTV News Barrie at 11. It is all the talk today. The Jays forcing the winner-take-all contest after beating the Seattle Mariners 6-2 in Game 6 last night. Now it all comes down to tonight. The Blue Jays will be looking to secure one more win to clinch a spot in the World Series for the first time since 1993. Okay, then, let's talk a little bit about the Owen Sound attack because they may want to add helmets to their golf gear, especially around their captain. Yes, okay, so that video is going viral from the team's bonding activity during a road trip in North Bay. David Bedkowski lost his grip at a golf simulator and sent his club flying straight into the kitchen. No injuries, just a few laps, however, and maybe a new rule for team outings. All right, Casey Colby, as promised, the prediction: Vladdy's going to break a record. It's going to be a high-scoring game, 9-8 for the Jays. Let's go, World Series time.
Batter up. Let's talk get up and go. I love it. Here we go. Get up and go. First thing tomorrow morning, well, mostly cloudy skies right across the board. 5 degrees in Barrie, 5 degrees in Newmarket, and 3 degrees in Gravenhurst. Let's play ball. Sarah.
You knocked it out of the park tonight, Case. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone at home. Jack will be here at 11. Take care.